With over 1 billion users on the platform, I think it's safe to say LinkedIn Sales Navigator is a must-have tool if you're a sales rep or an entrepreneur or anyone selling a B2B product or service. It also has over 40 advanced search filters and a pretty robust search engine, which allows you to build huge lead lists, target key decision makers, build relationships, network, and eventually turn those relationships into booked meetings and close deals. And I think that's why we're all on LinkedIn. We want to grow our network, build relationships, and make a lot more money selling whatever it is we sell. So without further ado, in today's video, we're going to cover how you can master LinkedIn Sales Navigator in 2024 using all the advantages that it offers today. So let's hop right in. So assuming you're watching this video, it likely means you already have a general LinkedIn account set up. You need to have a LinkedIn profile before you can have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So assuming you've already done that, let's talk about the different LinkedIn Sales Navigator plans. There's 3 plans. There's the core plan, the advanced plan, and the advanced plus plan. Now I have the advanced plus plan because my company pays for my LinkedIn Sales Navigator license, but really you only need the advanced plan, especially if you don't care about CRM integrations. The advanced plan offers things like account IQ, buyer intent signals, smart links, team links, so you can actually tap into your company's network to find the best path forward and identify customer accounts and different leads. It also offers things like Relationship Explorer and Relationship Map, which is one of my favorites because you can build the dynamic org chart on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So when you go to a person who you found them on your account search, you identify a lead, and then you can actually use the Relationship Explorer to then further build out an org chart as you are building out your lead list. And it's super helpful. I've used this feature a ton, and it's really helpful if you're selling really large accounts, but even small and medium-sized businesses, this can be a great tool for you. And then it also offers what we're going to talk about today, which is advanced search filters, lead and account recommendations, and one of the key factors that I really like or key benefits is real-time alerts once you've built some account and lead lists. So let's move on. Once you've selected the plan that you're going to choose, I would suggest you choose the advanced plan. Then you're going to end up going to your LinkedIn Sales Navigator homepage. Once you land on the homepage of LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you're going to have a blank screen here if this is the first time you've used it. But assuming it's not the first time, you may have a bunch of populated data and different leads and accounts listed here. We're going to get into why that is and more on that in a little bit later in the video. But the primary reason that you want to use LinkedIn Sales Navigator at first is 2 options. You have accounts and you have leads. Accounts is something you may want to use if you have a geographic region and you're trying to identify accounts that fit your ideal customer profile. So let's start there. When you look at accounts and you're going to go to account filters, it allows you to search things like annual revenue, company headcount growth. We obviously want to target companies that are in growth mode if we're going to be selling our products and services, where their headquarters are located. You know, a lot of companies may have several different locations, but the primary personas that you're targeting, the key decision makers, are going to be in their headquarters. So you might want to list out where that location is if it's within your geographic territory, the industry they're in if you sell to a very specific industry, the number of followers. I don't really think that one's that important, but bigger companies will have more followers. The department headcount, that can be a key differentiator. If you sell something that requires lots of users, maybe you need a certain number of people in that department. And then, you know, the type of, if they're on the Fortune 100, Fortune 500, Fortune 200 list, again, it's all relative based on what you sell. So let's just say, for example, I wanted to sell to companies that were between 5 million, which actually will say 10 million, and $50 million. So I'm going to add that as a filter. Now, company headcount, let's say for that size company, which is actually pretty small, let's say we're going to target companies that have 200 to 500 employees, and we'll say 500 to 1,000. Okay. And then let's say I want to find companies that are in growth mode. So I actually don't have to fill out the max percentage here. I can say I want to target companies that have at least a 2% headcount growth, because that means that they're likely growing as a business. If you're adding more people, your business is probably growing, more likelihood that they're going to purchase products and services. And then let's say our headquarter location, let's say I want to target Chicago, Illinois, because that's where I'm located. Let's say I want to target Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We'll say greater Milwaukee. Let's say I want to target Detroit. Let's say I'm targeting the Midwest region, if I could spell today. And then let's say I want to target Indianapolis. We'll do greater Indianapolis. Okay. And then let's say the industry I'm targeting is banking and financial services. So now that I've made those adjustments to my filters, I have already populated an account list, of 73 different results. So these are all companies that meet this criteria that we've set over in the filters. And one of the other things I might look at is how many job opportunities are there. There's 58 of them that are hiring on LinkedIn, which means that not only are they in growth mode, but it's a really good opportunity if you're selling software, for example. If they've got postings on LinkedIn, it might be a really good chance that you could highlight that in an email, you could highlight that in an in-mail, you could highlight that in a message if you're connected with them. So I strongly suggest you use the job opportunity filter, because those companies, if you're hiring people, again, you're probably growing, much better chances they're going to be willing to take a meeting, and it's a trigger, right? You can use that information in a message to them, whether it's on LinkedIn or off LinkedIn, and you have their email to highlight, hey, I saw you had this job posted. Typically when that happens, people are growing their organization. They're trying to accomplish the following things. It's something you observed and it shows you did your research. So definitely use that filter. And the other thing you can look at is connections. So you can look at first degree connections. I don't have any because I don't sell the banking or financial services. So I'm going to remove that filter. And then the other thing is, this is a really key feature that if your company is well known or not, can be beneficial to you, which is buyer intent. Does it have moderate or high intent? So I have 13 companies on this account list that I have built that all have buyer medium to high intent with the company I work for, which is an automatic advantage when I'm reaching out to them on LinkedIn, because someone at the company is researching my company. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or LinkedIn as a company, ingests tons of data, and that data they use to propagate what you see right here. So if they scrub different websites and they notice that, hey, this company has been researching your company, it's now going to show up on LinkedIn that there is some intent to research your company for the products and services you sell. It's an even better advantage you have when you reach out to them, that not only are they going to accept your connection request, but also they're going to have a stronger likelihood of responding to your message when you send them an email. Now, these last three workflows down here, account lists, saved accounts, and companies in the CRM. Companies in CRM is only going to work if you have the Advanced Plus option, because you can connect it to your CRM. If you don't have that, don't worry about it. It's not a limitation really at all. And then saved accounts, this will show you if any of these accounts are already on your saved account list, which we're going to build one of those right now. And then account lists, basically the same thing. So if I select all of these, I can then create a list and I can save it to financial services, or if I want to create a new list, I could call this banking and financial services, say 10 to 50 million. And then I can put additional information like Detroit, if I could spell again today, Detroit, Chicago, Milwaukee, Indy. And then I can create and save that list. Now, the benefit to this is that you now have a lead list you can add to as you continue refining these filters. The one thing people get stuck with sometimes is they're like, I just can't find accounts, or I just can't find the leads I'm looking for. This isn't a do once and then you never do it again. You do need to play with these filters. So for example, you may realize that, you know what, I need to include companies that have 51 to 200 employees in their company headcount. And now it's actually minimized my results down to 21. So I probably want to pull that out. And let's see, hiring on LinkedIn, I'm going to pull that out. Moderate to high buying intent. So let's just go back. And if I add that filter again, does it increase it or decrease it? It's increased it to 261 results. So as you see here, you got to play around with this a little bit and play around with the filters. When I added the filter 51 to 200 employees at the company, I added a substantial amount of leads, like 190 new account lists or accounts to my account list. And so just don't do this one time and say, oh, this isn't working. You got to play around with it a little bit. Eventually you will get an account list, and this applies to lead lists as well when you're building those. So now that you know how to build account lists and lead lists, you got to learn how to message people on Sales Navigator, but it does come with some limitations. The first limitation is if you go back to looking at the LinkedIn Sales Navigator plans, they all have a limitation of 50 in-mails per month. Well, what is an in-mail? An in-mail is when you are messaging someone that you are not connected with. So if I go back to the home page, or if I go to the account page or the lead list, let's go to lead list, and I click on the lead list that I just built. These are all the different leads, but I'm not connected with these people. You can see here, second degree connection, third degree connection, second. That means that I have a second degree connection or a third degree connection, meaning two people away from that person. So I might have a couple different options. So if I click on Michael's profile here, I can click the three bullet points here, and I can click connect. And if I send him a connection request, here's the thing. do not put a message in here at all. Just send invitation. I've tested this and I have much greater success when there's no message, because when you put a message, it creates friction. It looks like you're trying to sell something. Just send them an invitation, blank. Once they accept, you can now message them as many times as you want. Just don't spam them, but there's no limitations. But let's say I wanted to send Michael a message and I'm not connected with him, or he didn't accept my connection request. I'm then gonna use an InMail. So I'd put my subject in here, something that I observed, something of value in the message, usually 1 to 2 sentences, no more, don't write a paragraph. And then when I send that off, that is considered an InMail, and I'm gonna use one of my InMail credits. And again, I have 50. So let's say I sent 10 InMails. If I send 10 InMails, I now only have 40 InMail credits left for the month. But if 5 of those people respond back to my InMail, I get 5 credits back for my monthly allowance. So if I send 10 messages out of 50 and all 10 people reply back to my InMails, I'm still at 50. So that's all the more reason to do your research and make sure you're well prepared before you message somebody. Don't send everybody the same message. You'll have a greater likelihood of them responding to you, and you're not going to use up all your credits. Now, what if you do use up all your credits and you need to message maybe 100 people a month? Well, if that happens, you need to then use the group function. And this is a super secret hack. So you go to your LinkedIn profile, so your general LinkedIn page, you're gonna go to business, and all the groups that you belong to, you're gonna be listed here. I'm gonna click on one, and then up here in the top right corner is the members of the group. So I'm gonna click show all, and as you can see here, I'm not first degree connections with any of these people, but because I'm in the same group and I have a shared experience, I can then message them as many times on LinkedIn, or I can message 100 people, or in this case, 73 people, and it does not affect my InMail restriction on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. So try that out. If you're not a part of groups, join some groups that are relevant to your industry and what it is you sell, whatever industry you sell to. It's a great way to be able to message more people on LinkedIn. Now, the last thing I want to cover, and the last tip in this video, is the alerts. Alerts is super powerful because after you've built an account list, after you built lead lists, you're then going to start getting alerts from LinkedIn. As you can see here, right in the center of my page, these are all alerts that I'm getting because of the lead list I've set up, as well as personas, which I'll cover in another video. But if I click on the little gear right here, you can see that I have this set up where I've toggled to receive emails for all of these alerts. So every week I get weekly leads and account recommendations based on my current account list, lead list, and my saved search results. I get weekly notifications. So every week I get a summary of the top notifications and alerts that make sense for me. I also get receive shared custom lists from other people if I need to. So if someone shares a custom list that they built in my organization, they can share it with me. I can see who viewed my profile. So anytime someone views my profile, I get an email to my corporate email account that I've got set up here, and then I'm notified, hey, this person's looking at me. Maybe there's a reason, maybe I should reach out to them. Could be through my LinkedIn business development efforts. Maybe it's for some other reason, but you get a notification every time. And if you look down here at your other notification and alert preferences, you have so many different options. From you get a notification if someone accepted your LinkedIn request, if someone's engaged with posts from your company, if a lead viewed your profile. So let's say you sent someone an email, they looked at your profile, you're gonna get a notification, they didn't respond, you gotta try a different message or a different way in, get creative. But it's really important data to know who's looking at your profile if you're gonna send out a bunch of InMails. Or maybe in this case, someone at an account that you're targeting viewed your profile. Probably important to know. That means there's buyer intent. That's a buyer signal that you want to pay attention to. Greater likelihood that someone at that company is going to respond to one of your messages. You just got to figure out who it is by doing some account research. How about this one? An account just announced new funding. So if you're selling to smaller companies or startups and they just got a new funding round, I'd want to know that information, and you should want to know it too. So look through all these different alert options. There are so many of them. You can toggle them on or off. You may not want all of them. I have all of mine turned on. It doesn't bother me. The more information I have that's relevant to who I'm selling to, who I'm targeting, the better in my case. So it's up to you what you choose. But hey, I hope you got a lot of value out of this video. Whether you've been using Sales Navigator for a little while or are brand new to the platform, it's a powerful tool that you should definitely be using. It will certainly help you close more deals, or at a minimum, connect with a lot more leads that you can then engage in conversations with to see if they're a fit for your product or service. Thank you for watching. If you found this video valuable, please hit the thumbs up button, give me a like, and also subscribe to this channel for more sales related content. I'll see you on the next video.